What's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by the Search T channel.
Okay, the end of The Walking Dead, I don't know for you guys, but did it kind of run chills down your spine, The look that Carol and Alpha gave each other, you know, at the top of that hill overlooking the boundary where Alpha said, do not cross. We didn't see Alpha the whole show. None of the whispers, I should say. There were signs. They thought they were kind of, rid of them, not like a permanent thing, but for the meantime. But then there were signs. There was that mass that washed up. I believe that's what that was when Judith and her little brother and the other kids that they play with, they were collecting seashells, and then you see like a walker mask. There's a lot of things going on. We see how it opened with them training. Real good. A lot of formation stuff, a lot of military style, tactics and how they were using their shields and their formations and who to send in. The ones with the spears, the ones with the bow and arrows. Training with zombies that were in a abandoned or a sunken ship, and every time they would open it, they would let one out, they would let two out, they would let about five out. And then it got to the point where they were pushing so hard on the door that they just allowed the door to open, and all of them came out and handled themselves pretty good. All of them, and they really look like a real oiled unit now, a real oiled machine, I should say. And we see where they're at now. We see Negan, how he's out there in the garden there, pretty much doing, I guess, prison, prisoners doing, work on the side of the road type of thing, like we would see if we're in a freeway or something, or on a highway. And I guess they still don't trust him, but they know that they have a good hand with Negan. But when the shit hits a fan, you know that they're going to definitely need him, and he'll definitely fight. Especially like one of his wives was one of the ones whose head was on a pike, so he's going to really, really take that as a way to side with these guys so that he can take on the Whisperers. Carol, she comes back, and Ezekiel is going to kind of greet her, but she was kind of like it was okay for her to see him, but I guess that whole dynamic between them is gone, and they don't really are not, they're kind of like not even want to be in each other's presence, especially Carol on her part. She'd rather be with Daryl. They were like at one point they were just sitting with each other, and they were talking about stuff, and even making matching bracelets. I mean, Carol did that because Daryl said something that she thought was cute, and then she thought she was going to add the whole thing of, oh, you want to make matching bracelets? And Daryl's like, forget it. Forget I said it. Kind of got embarrassed. But they're thinking about just leaving, just going away with each other and just leaving the pack there, leaving them behind. And that's the reason why Carol, she's even willing to cross the boundaries that Alpha put in place. And they know the dangers. They know what's going to happen if they do that. We saw what happened in episode 15 of season 9. What happened, right? But we see like how much more it's gone further in the timeline. Eugene. We see him measuring Coco, who's the baby of Sadiq and Rosita. And while this is going on, and all the other things that's going, we see, the fact that they found those skins. They found skins later on, wondering what's going on. Why are these things being left behind? So they now are on high alert. And there was one part that we saw Sadiq, and he was with his baby, and he starts having flashbacks, and we see even more from Sadiq's view. We see, Enid, and we see it's all the others, and they're fighting for their lives, and we know the end result of what happened to all of them, Terra, and I don't know if what is that? Is that flashbacks or is that a guilt trip? There's people that still feel like he was behind it. He has some reason to do with that's happening. Them being killed, and maybe he gave them up. I don't know. But all this, the whole thing with the skins and finding a walker mask, a whisperer mask, if you will. And then something crash lands. Eugene sees it first, and he, how they radio to radio contact, and he contacts one of the security or one of the people that look out, or like the lookout people, and he's asked, he's like, get Michonne on the radio, and you talk to her right away, and then something crash lands, and then the reason why there's such panic is that because if they don't do something about it, it's going to cause a fire, and it may burn out, the entire like section where they are, the whole entire wooded area. And they showed some kind of like, it looked like a satellite or something that fell, and they were in the midst of a fire, and while they're putting it out, doing the old-fashioned teamwork, like passing buckets of water to each other, and those little pump handle things that squirt water out. I mean, there's even one point when Carol, there was a walker that was on fire, because the walkers, let alone, okay, they had to face the fire, they had to fight the fire, that's bad enough. But then they had these walkers coming out. One of the walkers was on fire, laid down on fire, and then Carol slits the throat of one of the walkers and lets the blood just squirt on the walker. And they decided to dig like a little ditch or little holes, not a little hole, but little like like ditches, and they put fire in it so that it would stop the fire, which is smart, keep the fire from spreading. But then Eugene had an idea, to take some of whatever is in that thing that crashed and use it to make the radios better, I guess, to make more type of the communications better. Even who's that? Aaron, I think, that said that aren't you like scared, or aren't you radiation? And Eugene's like, yeah, radiation's all around us. It doesn't matter, So Michonne was like, help Eugene get all that. Get as much as you can. In 5 minutes, we are gone. We're leaving. And like I said at the top of the show, we then see Daryl, and as soon as they're done, fighting the fire, Daryl and Carol are gone. Even Michonne noticed that. Where are they? Where are Carol and Daryl? And they kind of stepped away. They went to that top part, that ridge that overlooks, like I said earlier, the boundary. And they're up there and they're thinking, hey, you want to go? Carol's like that. You want to leave? And they're like talking, and then Daryl just walks away. And then Carol's kind of walking down, and then she stops and she looks over the ridge there, and then she sees Alpha. And Alpha is kind of looking like she's soaking it in. She's looking around, and her head kind of going from side to side and rocking out. I don't know. She's like in a fantasy world with her mind, or her thoughts are like kind of like all over the place, and she's kind of like, she has that look on her face, and then she turns around and then she makes eye contact with Carol. And the look they gave each other, especially Carol, because she's definitely looking at the person responsible for the deaths of not only her son, Henry, but the others, Enid and Tara, and those, 3 teenage kids, and like I said, Negan's wife, and even the character that was played by Brett Butler, I forget the name, but she's just staring out. They're both just staring daggers at each other. Just if looks can kill, they would both be dead. You know what I mean? Or that type of just that contempt. I understand contempt on the side of Carol, looking at Alpha, but then Alpha is also doing the same thing, and I think it's just because with her, It's like a disrespect, like, hey, we told you to not cross the boundaries, and that's what you get. We kill your loved ones, and that was a good way to end it, because you look at the upcoming episode. There's going to be a lot of whisperers in that one. This one we got to see them at the end, namely Alpha, but I like the build-up of this episode. It's kind of like an introductory episode, kind of catches up. They had the recap episode of recapping season 9 last, for in the beginning, and we've seen the all too familiar visual of how it ended, and especially the head on a pike of all those poor unfortunate members of Alexandria, and it was really truly one of the most shocking episodes that he had. And this one right now is kind of like just a slow build. They're kind of showing, hey, we're going to reestablish the characters and show you where they're at. I don't know how much time has passed, because even Michonne and Rick's son has grown quite a bit, maybe a year or two. He was just a little one when he comes back, and he's talking already, and he's like, looks like he's like 3 or 4. And the one thing I liked is that Judith was telling the story to her brother, and she was talking about their dad, but she was talking to him about the brave man. That's how she referred to him, as the brave man, and talking about how he sacrificed his life for his friends. He blew up the bridge, and it allowed all of the zombies, all the walkers, to fall into the water and saved his friends. And the little one is like, why did that have to happen? How come the brave man had to die? And then Michonne is like, well, sometimes, if you love somebody enough, you would do anything to save them. And I did enjoy the first episode. A good start to The Walking Dead, and I hope that it just gets better and better. And I hope that we all know that Michonne is, well, Danai Gurira is going to be leaving after this season. I think maybe even Daryl, is going to be leaving as well. So who knows how their fates are gonna, happen? What's gonna happen to them? How they're going to be taken out from this episode, from this show? How they're going to meet their fates? Maybe they're just going to leave off to the sunset. I don't know. There hasn't been nothing that I've read as to whether or not they're going to kill off Michonne, kill off Daryl. But they're both not coming well. For sure, we know that Danai Gurira is not going to come back. So we just got to see what's going to happen and how her character is going to be handled this season. But that's my thoughts, and that's my video review for The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 1, Lines We Cross. For those of you who stopped by, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And in closing, and as always, take care.